Actually, except for the junglers, we did talk about Clicky D and then Amumu. I'm very interested to see how the Amumu ultimate is going to pair with the Kennen ultimate. On top of the fact we have a Morgana ultimate, we have a Skarner ultimate, we have a Renekton stun, and of course the Janna ultimate, all in the same game. So much AoE, so much suppression, so much stun, and so much awesomeness supposedly going to be coming out of game number 2 between Epik Gamer, going to be on the blue team this time, ladies and gentlemen, and dBGaming over on the purple team. And I can see I have like a bunch of messages down here because people keep going, go Epik, go dBGaming, and messaging me it because apparently people, they want to be famous. I'm just going to go like this, like, hey, you guys are currently famous. Ponophobia, you were famous too.
Ooh, I'm always famous. So I want to say right here, we do see Salsi was the one who has Teemo. I wasn't looking at the names when he was talking about West Trice countering that Renekton pick up top. Now, I believe Renekton countered himself at that point, seeing the Kennen. I assume they went middle, then Salsi decided to grab that Teemo. So we'll probably see a Teemo middle and a Kennen top when Kennen completely counters Renekton, while Salsi's Teemo is going to be able to farm against that Morgana fairly well. At the same time, be able to get out of there anytime with his W, assuming he's not being caught. So that middle lane, interesting choice here with this full Yordle team. I'm assuming that Epik Gamer is just trying to have a little fun.
How do you feel about the fact that Salsi could go ability power Teemo and Westrice could go AD Kennen top lane?
Oh, I don't even know what to think about that. I think they would be able to do two. I don't think they even do AD Kennen. I think they do 2 AP at this point. AP Teemo middle does a lot of damage with his poison and his Q ability. Not to mention AP Kennen walking in there, stunning everybody and blowing them all up. And Corki going to be able to go in there, shred armor, and do as much damage as he can. Lulu coming in there with her ultimate is going to be able to save anybody who's going to be almost dying. Even a Teemo, she'll be able to save with that ultimate as it heals for like half his life in one hit and puts everybody back. Clicky D walking in there. They have so much CC on this blue team. It's insane.
Yes, but on the purple side, they have a lot of CC too. That Dark Binding from Morgana and her ultimate. Entis' Renekton is going to be able to stun champions, and that's going to be dealing 3 times his basic amount of damage if he's able to get that with his rage meter up. That's going to be ridiculous. Of course, we have the Skarner AoE slow and the suppression, and Janna's Tornado, the slow from Janna, and her ultimate. It's going to make for a very, very good match, Bonophobia. But right now, as we see, this delay timer has finally counted down. I want to once again remind you guys to thank our sponsors over at gaming.stackexchange.com. Without them, it wouldn't be possible to run the ggClassic tournament and bring you guys the best amateur and professional teams that North America has to offer. They host an awesome question and answer website for video games of all stripes. That doesn't mean just League of Legends. You can check out StarCraft 2, Skyrim, Mass Effect 3. Heck, you could probably check out Paperboy if that's your kind of game. But if you have questions about any of those games, head over to gaming.stackexchange.com to get a quick and very thorough response from one of their amazing, amazing community members, which could be yourself. But Stack Exchange likes to reward their community members as much as they like to reward the teams playing in a tournament they sponsor. Isn't that right, Ponophobia?
No, that's absolutely right. I love sponsors. Why don't they give me more stuff?
Ladies and gentlemen, they're running a contest that you're going to be able to sign up, ask questions, and be entered to win monitors, solid state drives, RP, oh my. But we are going to talk about that another time, as currently this all Yordle team is shift 4ing, and by God do they sound annoying.
Are you going to... You love the Yordle teams. You're just like Odd One. You could just listen to them all day.
I doubt that. But you better not underestimate the power of the Scouts Code, as even though they have a full Yordle team, dBGaming thinks they can evade against the little people over here.
Little people never underestimate them. Teemo and his bunny skin. That's my favorite Teemo skin out of them all.
Just listen to all the laughing. It sounds like they're about to invade a daycare.
We actually see Cuddles Abandon walking up here. She has her Dark Binding. First pick, has no idea Salsi is sitting in that bush. Salsi being able to see him go to buy Teemo in his passive, allowing him to go and Viz. So Purple Team's going to walk in here. They know they're there. The Yordle team backing out there. So it does look like they're going to invade this blue straight off. I'm not sure what they're going to do about this, if anything at all.
I don't think that the Yordle team is going to be doing anything at all. I think Amumu is just going to go straight to the enemy blue buff and take that one. They do know that Amumu is a very blue-dependent jungler, so sending all 5 people to invade like this just leaves their blue buff open to counter jungling. And it looks like they're even going to start at the enemy wolves, so we're just swapping jungles at this point, Ponophobia.
Swapping jungles, but putting one down a little bit lower than the other as they're not... as dBGaming is not going to take Epik Gamer's Wolves at this point. So Epic Gamer going to be up a little bit in the jungle war, maybe leaving up a Wraith or something. I doubt they will, since they didn't last game. They'll have the timers on them, allowing Claky to walk back in at any time like he did and continue to steal those blues. Now, if you watch the first game, Claky D did have the timer on every single buff in that whole entire jungle, being able to walk back in and take every blue from dBGaming.
Yeah, it was a very, very nice advantage they had. But now dBGaming doing the same thing, putting this ward down around the corner here, so they're going to be able to see straight towards those wolves right now, so they can see when those are going to spawn and when they are going to be going for them in the jungle, taking this blue buff away from Amumu. Amumu actually not going to be wasting Smite, it looks like, on the enemy blue buff. He is saving that and got a very nice pull from Corki and Lulu, as they're Beef Noodles left all alone on this bottom lane here, has to play a little dodge and juke with the kids from Yordle Daycare Center. As look at this, Salsy's in top lane with his Teemo, and Westrice is in the middle with Kennen. And I don't know about you, Ponophobia, but Westrice has 0.7 attack speed and only 1 ability power.
There he is. That's an AD Teemo coming out of here in the middle if he's got that fast of attack speed.
Yeah, AD Kennen would be super
I'm sorry,
awesome.
AD Kennen, I
yeah,
said
and
Teemo.
Salsy up top with that ability power Teemo, as he currently has 21 ability power. So, I don't know. Can I call him or can I call him?
I think you can call them fairly well. I really thought they would put that Kennen in the top lane, but Renekton going to have a hard time farming against this Teemo who's going to poke him and do anything.
And look at how long Baidoku took to get back to lane. Opting to go back and pick up an additional ward. He has 4 wards, a health potion, and that fairy charm. But Lulu and Corki poking Graves down to half HP before Baidoku is actually able to get back in the lane.
Sorry, I'm just fielding questions in the chat. So it looks like Beef Noodles down here getting bullied around by this Corki and Lulu combination. Lulu doing a fantastic. Look at the damage that comes down to this Beef, slowing him with that Q from the Lulu, putting some more damage into Baidoku's Janna. So they're going to have a complete dominance of this lane so early at level 2.
I'm actually very bewildered and bewitched at the play from Nat Nguyen's Lulu being super aggressive in this bottom lane. That help picks is just going...
we see up top here actually, and just going in onto Salsy. Salsy dropping down the blind onto Renekton, taking him down the half. That engage, even though he had 50 rage, didn't do too much to Salsy. So
we
this
see a little jungle invade as the Dark Binding did miss from Morgana, but Flash is going all around as Cuddles the Panda picking up first blood on Claky D's jungler. Westrice is going to try to get some vengeance here, but look at Skarner. You got Jimmered using all that mana to really harass down on that Kennen. Entis even coming down from top lane. He's going to find Westrice. Is he going to get the stun off? No, but ooh, Flash goes off, Ignite goes down, and 2 kills picked up for dBGaming on Epic Gamer's little Yordle choice. So we saw something similar to this in the first game where you got Jimmered, came out of the jungle and got first blood on the bottom lane against Mashme. But 2 quick kills this time being picked up for dBGaming. Could this be a turnaround that they really need?
We'll have to see. Renekton does fall off late game while Teemo is going to scale a lot better than he is, so we'll have to see if dBGaming can push their lead very early, as Renekton will snowball after a kill or 2, as he now has 1 kill and quite a bit of CS. Unfortunately, Amumu not being a very strong counter jungler, even though he has those tears and a blue buff, someone like his Lee Sin or Shyvana is going to do a much better job, so we'll have to see if he's going to continue to keep trying to counter jungle, because he did get caught over by the race.
And this Skarner gets spotted out by the random going for a journey Nat Nguyen Lulu, who decided to put wards down in the river and up towards the middle lane in that little bush over here. We saw him placing a ward from Lulu, and he actually caught Skarner with a glitter lance as Skarner was coming down for a gank, tried to push his advantage anyway onto Mashby, but Mashby was already playing far too passively, so no gank for Skarner on the bottom lane this time around. But very, very good map awareness, but I just like Nat Nguyen's Lulu. This is awesome. The fact he's actually leveling up help picks. He has that 1 other level of Glitter Lance, has no levels in Whimsy right now. So I'm going to be very interested to see if he picks that up, when he does, if he picks it up at all, and what use he's going to make out of it. Because right now, he's playing a very harass-oriented bottom lane support character.
And that's how Lulu needs to be played, really. Her help picks, adding damage to Mashme's Corki, and adding a shield, not to mention doing damage when she puts it on an enemy and granting vision. Claky D was sitting down here in the bush, now going back to his base. We still see top lane up here as that blind is doing some work on the Renekton. Skarner's going to walk around here, try to get some kind of gank going down on the Salsy. He is not level 6 at this point, but he's going to... Is he going to walk? I thought he was going to walk a little sooner. Salsy has no idea he's here. Now we have an engage coming down. We have the Qs being popped. Salsy blowing a flash and that W to walk out of there. Going to be able to get out thanks to Teemo's W, which gives him move speed when it's pressed. Yeah,
and it looks like Renekton and Skarner both get creep blocked on that Siege minion too. So a little of unfortunate pathing right there as they couldn't really get through. But I was distracted for half a second. Westrice has an amplifying tome.
I'm not sure what's going on here at this point. We'll have to see how he decides to build him. I'm not gonna say anything because I'm not sure what Westrice is going for, but it's gonna be very interesting how he's going to play this.
Yeah, I'm actually thoroughly confused as well. We're probably just going to see a standard Kennen build coming out from Westrice in the middle lane. But, you know, they might have just decided to swap things up because normally Salsi's the middle champion and Westrice is the top champion. Maybe Salsi just randomly has a Teemo page and Westrice does not, but I completely missed the fact that MashMe came in and really hurt by Doku, sending him to the grave and sending him back to base with a 7-second timer left. So a nice kill picked up from Epik Gamer as it's currently 2-1. Right now in favor of dBGaming, but Epik Gamer, you know, we can't really count them out. We saw early kills going down for dBGaming last game, and then the unfortunate turn from the jungle invade, and then that loss of the middle lane really set them back. So Epik Gamer, that bottom lane, once again, proving to be super, super strong. Beef is only level 4 right now compared to MashMe and Nat Nguyen, who are both 5. Beef trying to get some damage onto Nat and MashMe as they're tower diving. MashMe's going to flash, and no, not going to die. Looks like he has...
No, but now we oversee Claky D in the jungle going in on the Skarner. Westrice coming in there, popping his ultimate, trying to take out the Skarner. Knight goes down on the Skarner. Entis stopping there. I thought he was going to keep going in. Yes, he got the Dark Binding down. He's able to turn that around and pick up the kill on that Amumu with this full Yordle team now. Down 1 kill as Entis just stood for a moment, but going in there to help pick it up.
I think maybe they didn't see Entis coming into that area and wanted to see if they were going to try running back or if Kennen was going to try any shenanigans to run up and just harass down on that Skarner. My dog is super excited for this game, ladies and gentlemen. But it's just very interesting to see the fact that once again, they are focusing down onto Claky D's jungler a lot harder this game than they were last game. And as we mentioned in champion selecting game number 1, that was something they really needed to do, was they needed to contain the jungler and they needed to contain the middle. Right now, Westrice is the middle character, whereas Salsi is in the top lane. And I think Entis was their strongest player in last game, so having him go up against Salsi rather than Westrice might be all the suppress that they need onto Salsi's character. And they're going to just be really harassing down on Claky D's Amumu, who is a much fragiler jungler than that Nautilus was last game.
He is much fragile and he's much more reliant on blue, but we do see Claky D doing a good job of keeping up here as he is level 6, but Skarner being able to power the jungle at any point now having to go back. So Claky D doing a good job. Actually seeing Engage go down here on middle as the flash is going out. Oh, that black shield saving him from that Claky D ultimate, and Westrice not being able to get the stun down to that black shield too. Morgana just too strong with that ability.
You know, that's a level 1 black shield and it only absorbs about 130 damage too before it breaks.
And that's all it's needed though, but it makes you immune to all abilities that come down, so that's all you need.
That was just impressive. That I was actually thinking Amumu's ultimate was going to be able to melt down the damage.
Oh, top lane actually, we see Salsi going down to that Entis' Ignite there. A flash out of an Entis to pick up that kill. dBGaming doing a fantastic job now at this point in time of keeping that full Yordle team at bay. So Epik Gamer going to have to really look back and decide what they're going to do now to come back at this point. Like I said before, Renekton is going to snowball pretty heavily off each kill he gets. However, he will fall off late game. So as long as they keep this going, I believe Epik Gamer will have a better chance as the game goes on further.
I think they will, but like I said, that Entis going against Salsi in top lane right now. Salsi was the problem in middle. As we see more action go down in the bottom lane. Skarner coming in for a gank on the Nat Nguyen, on that Lulu. Corki, meanwhile, just really barreling down on Graze. There's a flash and a cleanse going off. Lulu's ultimate was going to save her. Look how much HP it actually heals her up to. She went down to half, popped an ultimate, and she's back up to full HP, basically, as the rest of dBGaming on the bottom lane looks to be very, very hurt. That Morgana was coming down from Cuddles the Panda, but she walked through the river and walked directly on a ward. So Nat Nguyen and MashMe going to play extremely passive, now realizing that the people are back and moving all around, trying to apply some pressure back on the Graze and Juku.
I do want to talk about bottom lane here. I really do think Corki's going to be able to carry this game very well. Look at the CS in comparison right now. Corki sitting on 81 and Graves only has 32.
That Graves, once again, unfortunately, Beef Noodles' range carry just not as strong as MashMe's range carry right now, as he once again has such an aggressive lane. Nat Nguyen's support is extremely aggressive. I didn't think Nulu was going to be as aggressive as Nunu, but it looks like to be even more aggressive right now. And even though ggClassic is really doing a great job counter jungling, if that Corki gets way too fed and he's not able to lay ganks down and really hinder the farmer, kills.
Claky D actually coming here in the middle on the Cuddles the Panda. Cuddles having to pop his black shield. We're going to see an ultimate coming out. No, a Dark Binding comes out on Claky D to stop him. So Claky just trying to push it out to allow Westrice to farm a little more. Teemo's going to walk down here at this point now, though maybe to either counter jungle. No, he's going to drop an egg, and we'll have to see if he decides to walk in here. No, he's just going to hold that lane now for him.
I don't know. Could we possibly be seeing a lane switch even? I don't know. Normally a Mumu would probably be the one holding down the center lane after having Westrace go back. Ooh, yeah, we do. Westrace is going to go top against that Renekton. They don't want him snowballing out of control. He already has a Brutalizer on top with double Doran's Blade right now, whereas Teemo only has a Fiendish Codex. I guess that's not really an only does. But he has to have to pick up that Cloth Armor to combat the Renekton in top lane. 65 farm to 69 is Teemo compared to Renekton right now. So even though Teemo has that range and has the blind, he's being out-farmed.
Oh, and just getting DC'd here. He was having a little bit of issues now running back to base. Do you see how many eggs are up here, though? Look at all those Teemo mushrooms. Well, there's just so much vision up top. He's going to be able to see anything that's coming. So that was a good lane swap here. Unfortunately, Entis now DCing. Westrace is going to get free farm. Going back, picking up a Hextech Revolver, and now has a Doran Shield on top of that.
Actually, both members of dBGaming, the top and middle lane, are ahead in their farm right now. So that bottom lane is really going to be the Achilles heel for dBGaming.
Oh, the ultimate coming down, and Knight coming down on top lane. Westrace blowing up this Scar. Now number Q coming out. A flash out of both of them, and a Q takes that kill for Westrace.
Wow, Ponophobia, you got so excited in that fight that you sound like a robot for half a second.
Oh, my internet's kind of going crazy. I apologize, guys. I was going to reset it, but I just did not have time.
That is no problem. We did see Mio on the bottom lane. I don't know if Koiki D made a presence known here, but a Morgana, a Beef Noodles, and a Baidoku walk into a bottom lane, and they get pushed back by Mashby's Corki, Ponophobia.
Well, that unfortunately, Graves just not doing a very good job down here, being 50 CS down. Beef Noodles just has to farm underneath his turret the best he can. Looks like we're going to have a dive here. Koiki D, a flash ultimate coming down, a beautiful ultimate by Baidoku. Another Q coming out onto that. Graves now falling, and as well as Janus falling, thanks to that ultimate from Lulu.
Wow, that is just so much crowd control, so much damage, and nobody took any damage really on the bottom lane. As Mashby, Clicky D, and Nat Nguyen are now going to be going from the bottom lane up to steal this blue buff, and disconnect problems continue to plague dBGaming right now as they might, the Achilles heel on the bottom lane, you can't really discount the fact that their middle lane disconnected for a good 5 minutes last game. Now their top lane, after a lane switch from Epik Gamer because they had the advantage in their lanes, disconnecting once again. So now
I want to go back really quick to this before we get too further. Did you see that ultimate come out of Lulu and how it worked so well for them? When you pop that ultimate at anybody, oh, Dark Binding come down, no, the smite, but is catching Claky D coming here, and ultimate coming out, it comes shield to be able to pick up that Claky D as a Knight going down, a flash out of Morgana to get the hell out of there. That was a beautiful Morgana play, picking up one kill even though they lost Dragon for it.
Yes, they did. But go on.
Really quickly, I just wanted to go back to this Lulu up here. When that engagement came down, Lulu popped the ultimate to pop everybody back toward the turret away from their base, so that allowed them to have a little couple extra seconds to do some damage. So a beautiful play out on Nyat, not Nat. I'm going to call him Nyat.
Nyat.
Yeah, it's Nat. Actually, Cuddles the Panda down here in the middle, taking a little bit of damage. Now he is in the red, as we would call it, as we see on our spectator screen.
Well, if you take a look at it, he's always red on my screen because he has the Fallen Morgana skin and he has a red health bar. Spectator humor.
Awful.
Yeah, I know. Hey, you had a bad one before too, so let's not
I don't
push
ever
it,
have
buddy.
any bad ones, sir.
we'll see about that one as the game goes on. But meanwhile, we see Renekton is reconnected. He is reconnected Renekton. But he is going to be going back to the top lane right here as I amuse myself with the fact that I can stumble over words. But that Kennen, meanwhile, on the top lane has had enough farm to just go back, get his Will of the Ancients. He is going to be sustaining like a boss up top there. And I don't know if that Renekton is going to be able to do as much damage as he could have, 2 or 3 minutes ago when the lane switch originally went down. And just coming back here, even though he still has that Brutalizer and a couple of Doran's Blades, we'll have to see how he does against this Westrace, who's been able to stand up here. Now his blue buff, been able to farm 101 AP on him and 120 CS. Renekton's now 70. Mashby down to the bottom, just doing so much work on this lane, going to be able to take this turret more than likely, unless they're going to keep it up so we can continue to farm. I can't even see how quickly Mashby is melting champions down because they don't even blink red on my screen until they're dead.
Oh, Mashby's carrying this game so hard right now. Beef Noodles coming in, trying to get some CS, now going to get blown up by Mashby. We see an ultimate coming out of there, an ultimate coming out of Lulu as well, but unfortunately that Skarner Tethered was not able to, or the Skarner Tethered kept Corki there, so the ultimate out of Nat did not push him back. Mashby's going to come back in here and try to do some more damage. We see Morgana walking down there, now walking back toward middle lane. Up top at the same time, Claky D and Westrace are going on Entis. Entis being able to walk the hell out of there. There's so much going on in this game right now. I can't keep up with it.
No, it's very, very interesting that... Oh, you want to see what's very interesting? Take a look at Amumu's items right now.
Amumu's items? I'm not watching Mumu. I'm watching Mumu come down here in the middle and just blow up that Morgana.
That was a lot of damage coming out of that move. He has a Hextech revolver. He's going to be picking up the second will of the Ancients for his team.
That's what you got to do. That Kennen up top is going to have that extra lifesteal from that Will of Ancients on top of his. I love the Hextech revolver pickup here on Mumu now, as he is going to, every time he uses it, any of his abilities, he's going to gain lifesteal back as well.
So he's going to be dealing AoE damage in the jungle. Of course, every single time he gets hit by something, reduces the cooldown of that Tantrum E by 0.5 seconds. So he's going to be able to spam that and just regen life as long as he has a blue buff. It's pretty much infinite sustain on that move if you think about it. We see Entis starting into his top lane, and he's just taking chunks of damage from that Kennen. He now has picked up, looks like a null magic mantle to make Mercury treads out of his boots of speed at 86 magic distance, but I just don't know if it's going to be enough right now. She just came back in the lane, is already half HP against Westrice's Kennen.
That he's so much AP, 97 AP, and a Will the Ancients giving him more lifesteal every time he tries to use any ability, and just taunting him up top, laying on the ground. Beef Noodles, that tower is still up. Mashme has left his tower up to continue to farm. Beef Noodles now with 76 TS to Mashme's 139.
So yeah, I mean, currently doubling that Graze's CS on the bottom. We've talked about already how that in the bottom lane for dBGaming. They really didn't. They really came into this game thinking that the middle lane and the jungler were going to be their biggest issues. I really guess they didn't account for it.
Clay giving him a nice bandage toss going. The Panda's going to be able to pick it up. No, a Dark Binding and an ultimate to pick up the kill. Clay D getting a little overconfident there, getting bodied in the middle lane by that Morgana.
Yeah, Clayky D, don't you know that if you shoot a fireball at Ryu, that Dudley is going to be able to charge straight through that and you are going to get KO'd.
He's going to duck under it, punish you for it with a nice combo. Entis going in here on top, trying to do some damage to Westrice. Westrice deciding not to engage on that, just getting the hell out of there, popping his E. Morgana over here getting picked up by Salsi, who popped his Q with that extra damage. He now has an Immortal's Evil Tune and Needlessly Large Rod. Bottom lane taking Purple's turret now. Mashme's going to force his advantage and keep pushing this lane up, try to take the second turret. Unfortunately, Beef Noodles' Graves is not going to be able to stand up to that farm on that Corki.
Corki has a Bloodthirster and a Zeal. Taking a look at Graves, he has a Pickaxe and a Vampiric Scepter. That's like Baby's first AD carry items compared to the ones that Corki has right now. So, unfortunately, Beef Noodles really not able to do anything against this bottom lane, and dBGaming is going to soon suffer the effects of that as that tower is down for Epic Gamer, or in favor of Epic Gamer, and that's going to leave Corki and Lulu to basically do what they're doing right now and roaming Gang Squad all over the map. So,
unfortunately, those DCs, I don't think those DCs really would have affected this game too much. However, you can never really say, as you never know what's going to happen. The whole Yordle team now really pushing their advantage, doing what they can. That bottom lane getting shut out so hard. We see Clicky D going here, and Beef Noodles just blowing him up. Now we're going to see Clicky D going on this Skarner, popping that ultimate, catching him to the very edge. Mashme coming in there, forced a nice flash over the wall. Clicky flashing as well. Lulu being able to pick up the kill with her Q.
That is just so much damage coming out of both Clayky D and Mashme, as they just made Graves look like he was a minion in that fight, and he just got absolutely obliterated. And then turning on to Skarner, the crowd control from Amumu's ultimate, Lulu waiting for the last second to really pop Skarner up in the air and against that wall with her ultimate. Like you said, the push out of the way effect of that Lulu ultimate is not going to be one that is underestimated at all, and Nat Nguyen seems to have a mastery. His giant growth spell, actually wild growth, he has 1 and 1 green. He is going to be giving champions +4 and pushing them out of the way right now, Ponophobia.
Sorry, I'm feeling more questions. Please continue to talk for me, Tom.
That is absolutely no problem, as Epic Gamers' all Yordle team is going to be taking another dragon right now, and Cuddles the Panda actually in the middle lane is going to be picking up a kill on Salty. I didn't even see that going down. Very nice job from Cuddles bursting down Teemo, as it's currently 11 kills to 7 in favor of Epic Gamer right now. Actually, Cuddles the Panda is going to hit a bunch of those mushrooms. Looks like you got Gibbert was coming in to try to get a nice ultimate down onto Corki, but not enough, as that Morgana just got bursted down by the sheer DPS that Corki is dealing. Of course, you can't count out that Hex Tech Shrapnel Shells is going to be dealing 10% additional true damage that does not affect structures, but does definitely affect those champions is going to be hit by. And Corki right now, 232 attack damage on his little person right now.
And shredding 10 armor a second every time that Gatling gun is at anybody. This Corki just carrying the game so hard. His back just must be so damn strong. And just going in the middle, another taunt coming out. I just think dBGaming knows that they're in a hole at this point in time and just needs to try to farm as much as they can to counteract that Entis's. Jesus Christ. I'm like reading chat and trying to talk at the same time. I gotta stop doing that. I've learned my lesson.
You gotta stop moderating the chat, Ponophobe. We have moderators that are highly trained for those purposes.
Unfortunately, being 11:32 at night, no one else is on, so I am forced to moderate the chat and try to cast at the same time. I'm a man of many talents. Unfortunately, moderating and talking is not one of them.
That's okay. It looks like Entis is a man of many dives as he's going down onto Salstria. Now, it looks like perhaps another lane switch going out, or maybe just Entis covering the middle lane. Looks like he's just covering the middle lane. As Cuddles the Panda is going to come down right here, and dBGaming might want to actually group up and try pushing a lane. Their team fight is not too terrible as Morgana has the ultimate that's going to be able to suppress everybody with a stun. And they have a decent team fight, but uh-oh, Cuddles the Panda walks onto an Easter egg, and that is not the Easter egg that he wanted to find, as he is going to fall down to Mashby's pure DPS, just shredding and shooting and all sorts of things that you really don't want an enemy range carry to be doing to you.
Still fielding questions, Tom. I apologize. Mashby just doing so much damage over here. The Beef Noodle's not able to keep up with it. Nat Nguyen gonna tower dive. A little Randert syndrome coming out of him. Is he gonna take another tower shot and die? Yes, he is. Beef Noodle's actually getting a kill. 1-4-0 for Beef. He can walk away saying, I killed Nat Nguyen. Actually,
that could be decent because Graves does not have the farm he needs. But speaking of damage, we see in the middle right here, Skarner is getting melted down by the Yordle that looks like Ezio and the Yordle that looks like Cleopatra, as they are both going down the middle lane and picking up kills onto Skarner. Right now, that Graves, he does need as much farm as he can get, so kills are going to be one way to do it, but unfortunately, that Lulu was tanking tower shots left and right, Corki was tanking tower shots left and right, and I just don't know what dBGaming needs to do to come back in this besides really group up and do what they're doing right here. Morgana ultimate goes down. Claky D has to pop his Amumu ultimate to stop the advance, and that is going to save Kennen and Teemo from the effects of Cuddles the Panda's ultimate. But here we go. A flash comes out of Entis trying to get a stun down on the Salt, but he did not hit it in time. And looks like they're actually going to be going over to try to get back on Mashme, who decides to go back into the enemy base, take a turret, and then run away from this Skarner. Looks like they are all scattered all over the place, dBGaming right now. I really think they need to fall back onto the fact that they could push as a team of 5. And right now, Westrice is continuing to push top lane. Mashme is continuing to go bottom lane. He is kind of hovering between bottom lane. They do something right here. They could catch Mashby out of position right here. Skarner looked like he wanted to be going in for an ultimate. Unfortunately, the ultimate was on cooldown for 12 more seconds. They may have missed their opportunity to really push back in the face of Epik Gamer right there. They're currently down 15 kills to 9, 40.4k to 27.2k is the gold count, 6 towers to 0, and that was just a golden opportunity as Mashby almost ran into 4 or 5 members of dBGaming right there. And they could have taken that and really rode this advantage, but they're just going to try pushing the middle lane anyway. Apparently, oh, I'm sorry, I'm choking on my own words here as Ponophobia is typing away in chat.
Mashby coming in here, almost taking out Cuddles the Panda. We see a flash by Clicky D trying to grab a bandage toss in here. Mashby's going to keep going down onto the Skarner now, popping his W to get out of here. We see a nice W coming out of Corky now to walk in here, now focusing down in the Beef Noodles. Clicky's going to continue on this. Skarner pulling him in, taking so much damage, and ultimate coming out of Lulu. The Knight coming down onto the Baidoku, and just going to get blown up here with a nice 309 critical strike. The Yordle Teemo 1. We see Westrice walking down here from the top lane. He's been pushing out that entire time. Salty deciding to go back. They're going to wait for this next this next creep wave and probably try to push out this tower.
And unfortunately, dBGaming just does not look like to have that farm out of the bottom lane. They really need to contest this Corky. Lulu's ultimate is just doing so much work because right now, Mashme, as you said, putting the team on his back from this game. Last game, he was the Graves that was legendary. He is just jumping in and melting down Baidoku, who's actually pop a flash and barely gets out of there alive. But Nat Nguyen's characters are all centered around making Mashme even stronger. They aren't ones that are sitting back there and healing up. They're ones adding attack speed, adding HP, and letting Mashme be this very aggressive range carry that he likes to play. And it is working out so well for Epik Gamer right now, as it looks like they've taken down 2 inhibitors. There is a binding going down on Corky, so Mashme's going to fall. But now Westrice and Amumu dBGaming is melting under the sheer AoE damage. They picked up the kill on the range carry, who was unkillable until that point. 9-1 for Corky, but just the AoE dominance of the rest of the team from Epik Gamer has been able to catch up. We see Skarner chasing after this team out, chasing after Nat Nguyen's Lulu. They're laughing and poking on after him. It's kind of like when a little kid holds a magnifying glass up to a pile of ants because Skarner looks like an insect, and they just kind of sit there and laugh. Look at Nat Nguyen! He's just chasing down You Got Jimmered. He's actually just throwing little attacks off away with laughter right now as Cuddles the Panda look a bit more computer
and a surrender vote coming out now. 3 votes to none. We had so many DCs this gaming plagued by it. Gaming is really what we need to call them.
Oh, that was such a bad joke.
So, guys, that is dBGaming versus Epik. Epik Eastern time. You can catch it over on own.tv/. This ggClassic tournament brought to you by gaming.stackexchange.com. Go check them out as they are running a nice giveaway at this point in time. They'll be giving away a solid-state hard drive and a 23-inch monitor for you to go there and ask questions. Go there, make an account, put ggClassic in your profile. You can win $25 on RP randomly thanks to the end of the tournament. Not to mention, if you have the most answered question and the most upvoted question and the most upvoted answer, you are going to be winning either a solid-state hard drive or a monitor for yourself. So great website, great contest to go to, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed our casting tonight. We are the Casting Kill Lane. I am SK Ponophobia, and this is my partner in crime, Optimus Tom.
But it was just so... It's like... The games themselves, you know, I'm tripping over my own words here as people are just spamming up messages because the game is over now and they think that we're off air. But just taking a quick look at everything, it just looks like right now that Epik Gamer looks really, really strong. Taking a quick look at Clicky D and Mash, we saw them playing against, I believe it was Team Subterfuge in the previous round of 32, going at a strong showing against dBGaming in the round of 16. That's no small feat because Epik Gaming looked like they were still in the amateur tournament. I hate to say it, but right now, dBGaming got to the round of 16, faced down against Epik Gamer, and even though they had a very good game plan to really play D and try to hinder Salsi as much as they could, lane switches from Epik, champions that had too much CC coming out of Claky D, choices, and now Epik Gamer is going to be moving on to face CLG in the round of 8, and to be completely honest, Epik Gamer is looking pretty strong, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them take a game or the match against CLG.
At least a match, if not the entire game. CLG is looking strong, though. They are playing in the Korean tournament, and they've just been dominating so well lately. They have the same team, however, they've been reformed in how well they play. Now having that gaming house, being able to play and practice more together, CLG is just very strong right now. So this should be a fantastic game to watch tomorrow. As I said, 12 p.m. Eastern. Watch. That is 6 p.m. GMT. Or I don't know what the